You should definitely not be afraid to date. Your fear of dating is actually holding you back. Hey girl, hey, how you doing? By the way, be sure as you're watching this video to click subscribe and the notification bell so that way you never miss a video from me that will come out every single week your way. I was the type of girl who always had a long-term relationship. I never really just dated someone for a couple months and then it never worked out. I never actually had that whole dating thing until I went through a bunch of really bad breakups. Once I went through that, I was kind of scared to enter into a long-term relationship with somebody, and so I started dating a couple guys. These guys were not worth pursuing long-term. They were just all about games, and eventually it got to the point where I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna date because dating is a game, so I'm gonna choose to play this game. It kind of kept me from being bored. It kind of kept me distracted from the things that I should have been focusing on, and ultimately it just left a really bad taste in my mouth when it came to dating. Some of the worst dating experiences that I had, guys, were only after one thing. Always. Even if you tell them, you're like, that's not what I'm here for, or you're never gonna get to that point. They find it like as a game, like a challenge or something, and they're like, oh, really? We'll see about that. And you're like, no, we're not. I was dating a guy, and for whatever reason, he was just really competitive about our qualities. So like I had a master's and he felt very threatened by that. And so he would just like throw his arrogance at me and try to prove to me that he was in a better position. It's like, dude, what are you doing? The last frustration that I had from dating experiences in that time is that guys take this game and they turn it into something completely different. Like rather than us trying to get to know each other and pursue each other to get closer together, they end up blowing you off and they end up playing this cat and mouse game where they want you to chase them. And it's like, well, if it's worth it, then you would come after me. No, you're not I'm not calling you back. The end. Goodbye. It's like, what is the purpose of dating you? What is the purpose of me putting myself out there, of me getting myself dressed up, putting on this makeup, going to a place that I don't even want to go to? I would much rather just be at home. But yet here I am talking to somebody who doesn't even get me. They're not even listening to me. And it's so frustrating. Of course you don't want to go out on a date again. Of course you don't want to meet new people because everybody that you end up running into just turns out to be a dud. Whenever you put yourself out there and you're like, this is what I'm looking for. This is the type of guy I want to meet. This is what my expectations are. And then you meet someone and then they're only trying to get laid or they're all about the games. It's confusing. It's frustrating. It's exhausting. And yeah, that could really just stop really good women out there, such as yourself, from dating, from wanting to date, from believing that there's somebody out there for you. It leaves such a bad impression that it makes you almost lose hope in the fact that there is somebody worth dating and loving and pursuing to have a long-lasting relationship with. A Christian woman should not have to feel like out of everything that they've experienced in their dating and love life, that God doesn't have something set apart for them somewhere in the future thereafter. And that's the problem, is that all of these bad dates and all of these bad dating experiences is placing a fear on your heart and in your mind to make you believe that guys are only out there to get one thing and one thing only. So yes, girl, I get it. It is really tough out there. However, if you do have it in your heart's desire to meet someone, to get married, to find that man who you could start a family and a future with, then I truly believe that God is going to put you in the direction where that will one day come to pass in His timing. And so I want to use the rest of this time to just really explain to you, this is why you shouldn't be afraid to date in today's world, despite all the men that you've already met, despite all the experiences you've already had. If this video can bring you a small, just a tiny little glimmer of hope back into your love life, then it would all be worth it. The first thing that dating does is that it helps you understand yourself better. When you go on various dates and you meet various people, you are pulled out of your comfort zone and it really shows you what you like, what you dislike, what you need in a man, what you need in a relationship, and what you're like okay taking a risk about or like staying out of your comfort zone for. But if you're just at home all day and you're not meeting anybody, then you're never gonna know that part of you that you're gonna need to know once you actually get into a serious relationship. The other really key thing that dating does, where if you choose not to date because you're afraid of dating, then you're gonna totally miss this lesson, is that dating helps you become a better communicator. Everybody has a different communication style. Some people like just texting and sticking to the DMs, and some people like to have that deep eye-to-eye, meaningful conversation. And if you are not placed in a position where you're forced to talk to new people about yourself, about your values, about what you want in your love life, then you're gonna have a hard time expressing that and adapting to those different communication styles whenever you meet different people. Like, so these are two really good things that I would say would help you, would benefit you by keeping the faith and overlooking that fear of dating new people. Anytime you are looking for something that is like long lasting and worth your while, it's going to take time and it's going to take a couple tries. But think about it. When you go and buy a house, you're not going to pick the first house you see. You're going to walk into a bunch of Shrek swamps before you finally find that dream forever castle. Finding your dream job. You don't find your dream job at your first job. It takes a couple of jobs. It takes a little experience, right? For you to finally be like, this is what I want. This is what I need. I'm going to go after it. And then I know that I'm going to have to keep looking until I find it. You're going to put in so many applications when you're looking for that dream job. But when you finally find it, you know, because you've been through some things and you've said some things and now you know yourself and now you trust God because you kept pursuing it, that by the time it presents itself into your life, you're able to know with confidence and with clarity that that is the direction you should take. Such is so with men. Such is so with relationships, and such is so with your ideal love life. Do not allow your past bad experiences taint or take away from the faith and the hope of what God has put in your heart to pursue and find in your love life. Because I guarantee if you keep stepping forward, if you keep taking these lessons and you keep applying what you're learning into the next state and the next state and the next state, chances are you're going to run into somebody where everything is going to apply, where every box is checked. And that's what you want to put your hope in. That's what you don't want fear to get in the way of. So don't let that happen. If you want to learn more about why you shouldn't be afraid to date in today's modern world, then I highly recommend that you get my newest book, The Christian Woman's Guide to Dating: Advice on Keeping the Faith While Looking for Love. I'll leave a link in the description below. That way you can grab this copy and see for yourself more reasons and more practical tips on how you can make dating not such a scary thing in your love life. That's all I have to say for today. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching, sharing, liking, commenting. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on those notification buttons. I appreciate you so much, and I can't wait to see you again soon. Until next time.